by the title of this video. It's not meant to be anything than a sort of a boost, a pick me up kind of video. And what I'm making tonight, and here's the thing. Lately things have been going okay for me, and especially while you're watching this tomorrow, so which means tonight, it's been a long trying day for me, and I'm sure we've all had these days. And people will try to convince you that you're not a good person and this is why things are happening the way they are in life. And I'll correct your mindset from now. Bad things happen to good people. That's just the way it is. You cannot control everything in life. Yeah? So no matter what you're going through right now, don't have anybody tell you that it is because you're a bad person. No, bad things happen to good people. And those same people who are saying that, their turn is coming. Because for them to get joy and happiness out of your misfortune, reality check coming soon for them, because that's just the way things goes. And for me, stress means if I eat a meal that I enjoy, something, and this is something mommy would make. My sisters didn't like ground provision, and to this day I don't think they eat salted cod and stuff like that, or they don't appreciate it as much as myself and my brother. And tonight I'm making, because of the stress I'm going through and everything else that doesn't seem to be falling into place, comfort food goes together. Something I like, I enjoy, and I do apologize for the length of the video. You can back out if there's too much talking for you. You can control that. Boiled yam, so it's just yam peeled, and this is the Caribbean style white yam, not that sweet potato business North Americans call yam. And I'll show you a piece here. It grows just like sweet potato, but they're much larger and there's no real sweetness. It's very starchy, and I find comfort in yam. Put it in water, bring it up to a boil, salty water, and let it cook until it's tender. You will put a knife through it. Once the knife goes through and there's no resistance, strain it, set it aside. Treat it as you would potato. To that, what I have here, and this is what brings even more joy to me and my heart right now. While the salted cod is not from my garden, and the onion is not from my garden, just about everything else here is from the garden. Here I have one large onion that I cut up. To that I have a whole whack of tomato from the garden. I'm only going to use the bottom half of this pepper. I can't remember the name of this one. There's a few varieties I grew and I normally grow. So those are the pieces of pepper there. You would have seen me harvest garlic. I've got some chives from the garden. I've got some parsley from the garden. And I've got, follow it up with some fresh thyme. Just love thyme, man. And of course a pimento pepper. So I'm going to stew the salted cod with all of these ingredients here, put it on top of that, and that there is pure gold, pure happiness, pure stress relief. Let's test the yam. I have my paring knife here. I'm going to go into one of them. No resistance. So all I'm going to do now is drain that water out and set this aside, and then we're going to get to actually making the stew to go on top of it. On goes my frying pan, my heat on medium. Let's cover the pot to keep that yam nice and hot. That steam is going to do all kind of wonderful things in there. I lie, there's nothing wonderful that steam is going to do. Oh gosh, Chris, you like we'll talk. You see, my mood already changed, you know what I mean? And that is what, and not just food, not just eating your favorite meal, it's the preparation as well. It kind of takes you away from everything that is going on the outside world there, and just brightens up your spirit and everything else. That is the joy, that is the sort of love from cooking. And this is why I tell people, 99.99% of the people I connect with on a global basis has never tasted anything I cook. Besides not being close to me, the other thing is, for the most part, I only cook for the people that I love, people that I care about and stuff like that. So food, cooking, equates to love, I guess. It's my love language. So the salted cod, and if you wanted to use pollock or Alaskan or whatever sort of salted fish, I had it in boiling water, as I said, to rehydrate it and to remove most of the salt. There will still be a bit of salt in there, so you won't see me add any more salt to this. As my temperature of the oil comes up, I'm going to go in with black pepper. You know, and one of the things I really like about being a son of the Caribbean soil, we are not only a hard-working people, and we love to play just as hard as we work, love to have fun and everything else, but we are also resilient. You know what I mean? Growing up, our story is totally different than most stories out there, because we've always been, it was always a struggle and everything else. While I had it comfortable, my mom and dad, they always provided for us and stuff like that. What they did do though is prepare us for being out of the home. And it just so happened I ended up in Canada, and if you know anything about the immigrant story, it is one of, not just struggle for survival, but, making things work to your advantage. So here we go. We've got that salted cod in there, all shredded up. I use bone salted cod, and this is going to be more like a vlog video than a recipe video, because there's a lot of me talking and stuff like that. I use boned, or what is called boneless salt fish, or salted cod. But I still, when I prepared it, when I shredded it and I soaked it in water, I also paid attention to any remaining bones which may still be in there. The onion, the tomato, and a few pieces of that hot pepper. Any spicy pepper will work. Now, if you wanted to start off with a combo, I started off with olive oil, and that was about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. If you wanted to go half and half with coconut oil and butter, you can do that, olive oil and butter if you want to mix it up a little bit just for a bit more richness. I'm going to let this sort of simmer there for about 4 or 5 minutes just for that to soften up a little bit. But as it does, this is when we're going to add, once I cut this pimento pepper here, ooh, does it ever smell good, man. It smells like the hottest Scotch bonnet pepper you've ever cut open, and that smell brings, that's just joy. However, with a pimento pepper, what we call seasoning pepper, there, and there is the odd time there will be a bit of heat, but for the most part there is no heat whatsoever, and that is why we sometimes refer to them as seasoning peppers. I'm just giving the parsley a little rough chop, and that's going in there as well too. And using the stuff out of the garden, man, brilliant. We've got the fresh thyme, and the stalks, they're relatively tender. They're baby stalks of thyme. So that's going to go in there. I'm going to grab a couple cloves of garlic, and we've got to chop up some of this chive in there as well too. So go like that. Hit that a little chop. Yeah, almost sound like the guy who used to sell slap chop boy. All I remember that one. Oi! Telling me I was a bad person, that's why bad things. No! Hush! I've had it on that medium flame there, so we're gonna go in with the garlic, and I like crushing the garlic in this instance, because I find it makes its way throughout the entire sort of saltfish stew, or stewed saltfish, as opposed to if I were to slice it up. All that going in there too, Hit that a little stir. This recipe you would have seen me shared a couple of times now, because it is one of my favorite things to eat. And what I was going to mention earlier when I spoke about my sisters not liking it, I think my love and appreciation for this dish, and the reason why it brings me so much comfort, is because it's a dish mommy would make for my dad, my brother, and myself, because it is something, our dad is our hero, and anything that man liked or did or whatever, we just kind of followed suit, you know what I mean? I remember, and I spoke about this in my cookbook, I believe, My dad would have a big heaping plate of this yam and dasheen and cassava and everything with the stewed saltfish with some avocado or zabuka on the side there. And he would always crunch. Back then he tolerated hot pepper, so he would just take a bite out of the hot pepper and then a piece of yam and some saltfish and all that. And yo man, we always tried to copy my dad with that, except for the hot pepper. Today, Mr. Man can't eat the hot pepper anymore. It does things to, he's 80 years old, man. He's 80 years old, so we got to expect that, right? But that is one of the reasons why I love this dish so much, because it takes me back to being a little boy with no problems on the islands. Saturday, when my dad was home, mommy would make this. It's either with the yam with saltfish or yam with stewed pork, lot of ginger and stuff like that. Sup soldiers, listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me, email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie? Just gonna give that another minute. It's been going for about 7-10 minutes in total now. The onions are nice and soft and translucent. The kitchen is smelling awesome. I love me some saltfish, what do I say? I do hope this video, while not a recipe, inspires you to say F that to today and the problems of today. Say your cutter's month to the people who love to see you fail or bad stuff happen to you, or yo, your shoulder's strong, man. Organize a dish. Sit down, eat, relax, watch a little TV if you have to. That's the thing. For me, I'm gonna go in the backyard, turn on the lights. Yeah, it is late evening, but I'm gonna go and relax, feed some mosquito. The mosquito love me out in the back, boy. And I'm gonna enjoy this. So Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you guys in the kitchen with me. I hope this recipe, this video, this little one-on-one chat we had here brightens up your day. Yo, tomorrow's a new day, man. A new flicking day, yeah. Irie? Irie. What's up, soldiers? Don't forget to click subscribe. If you've already clicked subscribe, hit that bell notification thing. I want to all you missing out on the new videos, man. Come on, click.